2 days passed since Myne swore never to think about her embarrassing past life again. Dad finally gave her permission to go outside, but not past the gate, which meant she could see Otto. "I'm sorry, Mr. Otto. You went out of your way to set up a meeting for me, but I just got sick. I heard from the captain that your fever didn't go down for 5 whole days. Are you feeling better?" "Uh-huh. Thanks to you." She smiled, but Otto furrowed his brows. "Are you really feeling better? You don't look so good. I have a problem that I'm having trouble solving. Would you mind telling me what you would do if you were in my situation?" "What? You don't mind telling me your problem?" "I don't mind. There's something I want right away, but I don't have the strength or stamina to make it by myself. I could maybe make it after growing up, but I don't know if my body will be healthy enough to grow like a normal person's. I might not even be alive for much longer. What would you do if you were me, Mr. Otto? If you can't do it yourself, just hire someone who can. Is that all you're worried about?" "What?" She'd never considered hiring someone else. "I think that's a really good idea, but I couldn't afford that." "Yeah, you're a bit too young for that. Well, if I were you, I'd find someone capable and guide them into doing whatever it is you want out of their own volition. That's no easy feat, but it's no sweat off your back if they willingly do it for free." Myne recognized that warm smile. Otto was definitely guiding her already. "I'll keep that in mind." Otto held out a slate. Talk time was over. "Oh, right. Now that you're healthy again, could you tell that kid that we can meet up the day after tomorrow? The Central Plaza at Third Bell sound good?" "You mean Lutz. Thank you." She wrote it down. Otto grinned. "Yep, I'm betting any kid you want to introduce me to will be real interesting. I'm looking forward to a fun meeting." Myne swallowed her panic. This wasn't just casual. "Myne, we're going home." Dad was calling for her. She gathered her things. "Hey, Dad, I told Mr. Otto I wanted to introduce Lutz to him. Do introductions like that have any special meaning? Given his age, I'm guessing he's looking for apprentice work, though any friend of yours is going to have a hard time with that, Myne. Why's that? Think about it. Taking on an apprentice means looking after them for the rest of their lives. Even if they split and go independent, there's still going to be a connection between them they can't cut." This was more serious than she'd thought. Tomorrow's meeting was like a job interview. The day after learning about apprentice work, Myne went to the forest. On the way, she apologized to Lutz about the bamboo, then told him the meeting was set for tomorrow. "Thanks, Myne." When they reached the forest, Myne took Lutz's hand and headed to the river. "Okay, Lutz, this is the perfect spot. Let's get you clean." "What?" "The first impression you give someone when meeting them is really important. I don't want him to look down on you just because of your appearance. I don't think a wash will change that much, really." While explaining the effects of appearance, Myne washed Lutz's hair with her simple all-in-one shampoo. She'd brought rags, a comb, and a bucket to really clean him up. She put river water and shampoo into the bucket, washing his hair over and over like she normally washed Tuli's hair. She wasn't just cleaning him. She was preparing him for the most important meeting of his young life. "Hey, Lutz, I can think of you wanting to talk to Mr. Otto as you wanting to become a traveling merchant, right? You want an introduction so you can become a traveling merchant's apprentice?" "Eh?" "Yeah." The more she wiped Lutz's hair with a rag, the more his golden blonde hair gleamed. Such a pretty yellow color. She wanted to trade hair with him. She combed it to increase its luster, feeling slightly jealous. "So, what do you want to do after becoming a traveling merchant? Do you just want to travel the world? Where's all this coming from? You really need to think this through." "Why?" "Mr. Otto doesn't know anything about you, Lutz. He's not like a parent or family member who's known you their whole lives. You need to really think about this if you want him to introduce you to someone." Kids here got introductions from parents or family members. It was rare to get one from an outsider, especially for a job parents would reject. "Mr. Otto's meeting you this time as a courtesy, but he's not that forgiving. He's a former merchant and as calculating as you would expect. If you haven't put enough thought into this, he won't waste his time meeting you a second time. Tomorrow would be like a job interview. Without preparation, the interviewer wouldn't even consider you. What about you, Myne? Could you give an answer right away if I asked what you would do as a merchant? Uh-huh. I want to sell paper. If I were a merchant apprentice, I'd teach someone how to make paper and have them make it for me. Paper? Not books? I need paper to make books. And here, nobody but me wants books, really. I guess if you're the only one who wants them, nobody's going to buy them, huh? Uh-huh. But paper made from plants will be cheaper to produce than parchment, so I think it'll sell just fine. I'm sure there's a profit-savvy merchant out there who will see the value in my knowledge. Huh. Guess you did think this through, Myne. I'll give it a shot, too. I think a friend of Otto's assistant is a weak connection. But if you make your intentions clear and show that you can bring value to them, I think a merchant would be willing to take care of you, too. Lutz asked Ralph if he could borrow his special outfit, but got rejected. So he and Myne walked to the central plaza in their normal clothes, though he was much cleaner than usual. Hey, isn't the meetup at Third Bell? We're super early. That's the idea. If we get there after them, we're done for. You really want to get there first. You know, my mom asked what was up with my hair last night. It took forever to get her off my back. I'll teach you guys how to make it on your own, so don't ask for mine. I don't have much myself. They talked until Otto walked into the central plaza. He looked around, then grinned widely when he saw them. He was definitely testing them. That smile confirmed it. Otto waved his hand in another direction. A different man appeared and started walking with Otto. Myne felt cold sweat. She grabbed Lutz's hand. He's here, Lutz. Remember to be polite. The other man was clearly Otto's merchant friend. When he looked at them, his eyes gleamed sharply, like a predator sizing up prey. They were well-dressed and groomed, significantly more than most people passing through the plaza. Their clothes used a lot of cloth that formed large drapes, and Myne couldn't find any stains or parts traced of patchwork, a stark difference from the clothes she was used to seeing. The friend had curly milk tea hair that gave a soft impression, but his reddish-brown eyes were brimming with confidence and gleaming with sharp ferocity of a carnivore. Hey, Myne, I'm guessing that's Lutz? Good morning, Otto. This is Lutz, my friend. Thank you for making the time to meet us today. Myne did her normal chest tap salute. Otto saluted in return. Hi, I'm Lutz. It's nice to meet you. Lutz looked nervous, but didn't crumble beneath the two adults' intense looks. He managed to finish the greeting without stumbling or letting his voice shake. Challenge 1, complete. Benno, this is Myne, my assistant and the daughter of my captain. Myne, this is Benno, an associate from my days as a traveling merchant. Nice to meet you, I'm Myne. She kept her head up while greeting him with a smile. How polite. I am Benno. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. You're a pretty well-mannered little girl, huh? She's not as young as she looks. She's 6. Otto added her age for Benno, since she probably looked like a 4-year-old. Benno opened his eyes wide, looked at Otto with amusement, then curved his lips into a grin. Your assistant hasn't even been baptized? Ah, well, actually, I'm in the middle of teaching her to read and write so she can become my assistant. You sure made it sound like she was already helping you out quite a bit. Let it go, man. A chill ran down Myne's spine. Would they be able to hold an interview these two would accept? There's something I'm real curious about. Mind if I start with a question? Benno asked. Not at all. What is it? What's that stick stuck in your head? He was asking now because it would be awkward after rejecting them. Myne pulled out her hair stick. This is a hair stick. It's used to keep hair bundled up. Otto and Benno examined it curiously. Looks like a simple stick. Uh-huh. It's a wood stick my dad carved out of a branch for me. You can bundle your hair with just this? Yes, she demonstrated, scooping up hair, wrapping it around the stick, rotating it, and pushing it forward. Oh ho, impressive. Benno suddenly touched her hair, then furrowed his brows. Hey, your hair's pretty impressive too. What the heck are you putting on it? His gaze was sharp. It's a combination of common things, but the details are a secret. Boy, do you have the same stuff in your hair? Myne put it on me, saying I needed to look clean for this. Benno clicked his tongue. Myne wouldn't let go of a valuable card during this preliminary skirmish. Otto sighed. So, you want to become a traveling merchant, Lutz? The interview was finally beginning. Myne squeezed Lutz's hand. Ah, right? Give it up. Otto stopped him. Only an idiot would give up their city citizenship. Mr. Otto, what's city citizenship? Myne let the question slip out. She'd never heard that phrase before. It's the right to live in the city. At the same time, it's proof of your identity. When you turn 7 and get baptized in the temple, you get registered as a citizen of the city. Citizenship changes everything. Whether it comes to getting a job, getting married, or renting a house, it costs a ridiculous amount of money for an outsider to get registered at the temple, obtain citizenship, and earn the right to live in the city proper. Myne tried to process this. In her past life, citizenship had been something you were born with, not something you had to buy. Mr. Otto, did you pay that money? Sure did. Otto nodded with a frown, probably remembering what that was like. Benno grinned and pointed at Otto. This guy dumped all his savings so he could marry Corinna. I wanted to have enough left over to buy a shop here, but it took all I had just to afford citizenship. Myne had no idea how much money a traveling merchant would have saved up, but she got the feeling nothing would be enough to afford citizenship, marriage, and opening a store. Plus, living in a city and living on the road are completely different. Listen, Lutz, do you know what it's like to live most of your life in a horse-drawn carriage? Take water, for instance. What do you do if you need water? Draw it from the well. Right, but there aren't any wells on the road. You got to find your own sources of water. A river could. Lutz immediately imagined using a river, like the one in the forest. When a traveling merchant first leaves town, they won't know the rivers are, Lutz. You won't be traveling beside one the whole time, Myne added. Myne's right, so usually you always follow the same routes. You learn more as the years go on, you trade information with other merchants, and you gradually get to know which roads are safe and where the usable sources of water are. You pass that information on to your kids, and they inherit your routes. There's no room for other people in the middle of the cramped carriage you live in. And now, the most important part, where traveling merchants end up. Do you know what traveling merchants want more than anything else? Lutz fell silent and shook his head. City citizenship. What? They want to end their hard life on the road and live in a city someday. They want to own a store in a city and do business safely. That's what they save up money for. That's the dream of a traveling merchant. No traveling merchant will take a kid who already has a citizenship. If you want to go down this road in life, you got to start on your own. There's no apprentice system for traveling merchants. If the dream of a traveling merchant was citizenship, then Otto had already achieved his dream. He didn't get the store he apparently wanted, but still, Myne didn't know why a merchant would have become a soldier. Mr. Otto, why did you choose to become a soldier? Wait, stop. Don't ask that. Benno tried to stop her, but Otto clamped a hand over his mouth. To marry Corinna. I want to know the details. Listen, girl, I don't want to hear them. He'll never shut up once he gets going. But Otto's eyes were already shining. Indeed, I came to this city and fell in love with Corinna at first sight. I could see nothing but Corinna. I knew she was the only one I would ever want to marry, and I immediately wooed her. But she turned me down at first. She's a famous, skilled seamstress and wanted to preserve her working relationships. When Corinna told me she planned to marry a man from this city, I went straight to the temple and bought my citizenship. What? Hold on, isn't that a bit sudden? Benno rubbed his temples. Yeah, and that's not all. The money Otto spent was the money he planned to spend on opening a store where his parents bought their citizenship. I knew becoming a soldier would show Corinna I was determined to start a life here with her, so I asked your father and he hired me. Ah! Corinna sure was surprised when I proposed after buying my citizenship and becoming a soldier. No young woman wouldn't be surprised to see someone dump their life savings just to marry her. I spent days wooing her, and eventually I married into her family. You have no idea how cute Corinna looked when she laughed and called me the most persistent man she'd ever met. Otto, don't forget why we're here. Drop the wife talk and get back on topic. Ahem, sorry. Anyway, give up on being a traveling merchant. Lutz hung his head, depressed. Lutz, why don't you try becoming a normal merchant apprentice? You'll at least get to leave town to buy merchandise. Myne? Lutz looked at her, eyes burning. I thought it would be better for you if you heard it directly from a former traveling merchant. You'll believe Otto sooner than you'd believe me, right? Ah, Lutz looked away awkwardly. I knew from Otto that being a traveling merchant would be hard, so I thought it might be better if you start a job that both lets you go outside the city and won't get rejected by your family. Yeah, and that's why I'm here. You want to be a merchant, boy? Yes. Benno narrowed his red eyes. The casual atmosphere was gone. He looked down at Lutz like a predator who'd found prey. So what do you have to sell? What would you want to sell as a merchant? What? Lutz hadn't prepared for this. I'm asking what you want to do as a merchant and what you can do. This interview was way too intense for a 6-year-old, but Benno had no reason to take Lutz for free. If you don't have an answer, we're done here. Lutz lowered his eyes and bit his lip. Myne whispered quietly, Will you make my paper, Lutz? I will. Lutz jerked his head up, squeezing her hand. He glared at Benno. Yeah, I have something I want to do. I want to make all the things that Myne thinks up. Uh-huh. That's what you've been doing for a long time. Myne'll push herself too far without me, so I'll make the stuff for her. Benno looked surprised. If Lutz would do what she couldn't, she'd do what Lutz couldn't. Unlike him, she had plenty of experience with job interviews. She smiled brightly at Benno. I want to make and sell paper that isn't made from animal skin. It'll be cheaper to make than parchment, so I think it will be very profitable. Benno grimaced, glaring at her intensely. You want to be a merchant too, girl? Yes, it's my second choice. Is your first choice doing paperwork at the gate? No, I want to be a librarian. They all looked confused. Never heard of that before. I want to work a job where I manage a large number of books. Benno began laughing. Haha, sorry, but that's a job only nobles get to do. I knew it. Curse you, nobles. But wait, paper that isn't parchment, you say? Do you have some on hand? He glanced at her, calculating profit. Not yet. Then we're done here. But he was definitely interested. If you just want a real-life example, I can make one. Our baptism is summer of next year, so I'll make prototypes of my paper by spring. You can decide then whether you can use them or not. All right. Benno had intended to turn them down, but Myne had postponed his decision. Thank you very much, Mr. Benno. I haven't said yes yet. But still, you've given us a chance to try. Let's do our best, Lutz. Yeah. Mr. Otto, thank you very much for introducing us to Mr. Benno. Otto grinned. This day off ended up pretty fun. I'm looking forward to the next time you drop by the gate. I just remembered I have something I want to ask you to, Mr. Otto. Mr. Benno. They both turned around. Yeah? What's up? Do either of you know of a disease where there's like heat inside of you that grows and shrinks rapidly? It feels like the heat is eating away at your very being, and if you desperately push it back, it shrinks. No clue. I've never heard of anything like that. Otto casually shrugged. Benno briefly lowered his eyes, then slowly shook his head. Never heard of it. If neither of them knew, nobody in her sphere would know. Okay, thank you. Myne and Lutz resumed walking, holding hands. She hadn't learned anything new about her sickness, but she'd won conditional employment and gained a helper for making paper. Let's make paper together, Lutz. Yeah. Lutz gave her a smile filled with hope and excitement.